Play to win your share of $1 million every week this football season at DraftKings.com. With 1 Week Fantasy at DraftKings, you can play when you want with a team you want. Just pick your contest, pick your team, and pick up your winnings. Hurry to DraftKings.com now. Use code FINE and play for free with your first deposit in Sunday's $1 million fantasy contest. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Enter FINE for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
The Pirates and Cardinals have the best 2 records in baseball, and they go head-to-head one final time this regular season. Could this be a preview of next week's division series? Coverage begins Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Opinion. Must-hear radio. This is the Paul Finebaum Show. Brought to you by Regions Bank. Regions Bank is proud to be the official bank of the SEC. And now, Paul Finebaum.
Jeremy Johnson, Duke Williams, Muschamp. They're thinking national title.
The whole outlook for Auburn looks good.
Best case scenario, they'll be in the college football playoff.
Tennessee, in my opinion, is a team to beat in the East.
They can win the SEC East.
The Tennessee hype is at a sight right now.
This is the most scariest team in the SEC West.
And this is a team that can win the SEC.
And as beautifully as Brandon Allen has played tonight, he can't lose that football.
Gonna go for all of it right here. Got it! Kirk, touchdown!
They're working on Henry Tolliver. Tolliver never knew the football was coming.
Allen fires. Knocked down. It's over.
Picked off at the 2-yard line. High snap. They blow it. Fumble.
Oh, you might have to call 911 for some of these fans. Oh, you drew your line in the sand last week. You changed your quarterback. You made 5 changes on the defensive side, and you scored 9 points tonight.
Dobbs freelances, but he is nailed behind the line. Just right.
After last year's loss at home to Florida, Rich Carnes called it the toughest loss of his coaching career. He may have topped it.
Tennessee squandered a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the week. A new one has started. It, on paper, was one of the dullest SEC weekends of the year. It turned out to be unbelievable. Marcus Spears in the house with me. And, Marcus, a week ago, it was Manic Monday. Today, it's actually worse.
It's worse. I don't know how it got worse, but it got worse.
I mean, if you're a fan of Tennessee, of Arkansas,
Auburn.
I keep forgetting. I wrote them off like 2 weeks ago. I keep forgetting they're still around. But anyway, we have a great deal to do and only 4 hours to accomplish the mission. First headline of the day, Greer to Callaway, one for the ages. What a play, 4th and 14 in the swamp. Tennessee, I think, had the game wrapped up. The FPI gave Florida a 6% chance of winning at that point.
Snap to Greer. Greer looking, throws the ball, got a receiver. There's a catch made on the near sideline. Down the right side, 35-30. It'll be Callaway down the sideline. He's going to score! He's going to score! He's going to score! It's a touchdown! Oh, my!
Let's recap an unbelievable win for the Gators, and just all the things that went into that. Just can't tell you how proud I am of our team, how happy I am for our team, and really Gator fans all over the country. And I really, the biggest thing that really kind of stood out beside the end result was, the confidence, no panic, just the way our guys kind of approached, the whole game.
Meanwhile, on Rocky Flop, not closing out games, taking its toll on Vols fans.
But you said in your opening comments you thought the players played well enough to win this game. Do you think you and your staff coached well enough to win this game?
Well, that's, I do. I thought we all did. It's just, again, it's one or two plays, and I think it's putting everything in perspective, and I really believe that. And we're 2 plays away. We're 10 seconds away from being 4-0, and we're 2-2. And, we can't let 2 plays or 10 seconds define who we are. We have to continue to work, continue to grind. I thought our coaching staff had a great plan going in. Well, it's not about me. It's about our players. It's about everyone in our football organization. And I'm the head football coach. I'm responsible for anything and everything, and I would say put it all on my shoulders. I want you to put it all on my shoulders. I want to free up our coaching staff to coach. I want to free up our players to play. So that's part of the responsibility and obligation of being the head football coach here. And, I've been through this. I see us making progress, but I'm responsible. Put it all on me so our players can go play and our coaches can coach. And that's the responsibility of being the head football coach.
Actually, Coach, part of your responsibility to be the head football coach of Tennessee is to learn how to finish games. When you first started playing football as a kid, that was one of the mantras. That's what you heard from every single coach.
I'm glad you brought up being a kid and playing football, P-Town, because some of these decisions that were made late in this game, my Pee-wee football coach would have been ready to make the right call. So it's just, it's so disheartening. You look at this 2 weeks ago, and then you see it happen again against Florida. And the most difficult thing for a player on a football team is to know that you were the better team and you didn't come away with a win. And that's been the case for them twice out of the 4 weeks of the college football season.
And you said kids, and we always get criticized for using it. You have a lot of young people on this team who have played their hearts out, and I think we both agree they've done what they needed to do, but inexplicably, Butch Jones and his staff have not been able to, and you kept, I would have bet everything that this staff would have learned from 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely, because you always are in self-evaluation mode as a coaching staff and as a football player, and to be right back in this situation again, up 13 in the second half, midway through the third quarter, and to give up a lead and lose a game at the end of the game, it's disheartening. It's hard to come back from.
Defensively, what were they doing on 4th and 14?
I'm so angry right now about that call. Sitting in defensive line rooms and sitting in defensive rooms scheming to play against a football team. First of all, on 4th and 14, you do not give the quarterback enough time to go through progressions and try to read the defense. That's number one. Second of all, you rush 3. Now, I'm going to get a little X's and O's, P-Town. They rush 3 defenders, and they drop a defensive end into the boundary of the football field. All the plays are going to be made in the big portion of the field that's over here to the right where the actual throw was made. So I looked at that play, and that play, and it's hard for me. No one play ever determines a game. But that play is a symbolism of what Tennessee has been doing in these 2 games that they've lost that they should have won.
So ideally, on that play,
put pressure on him. At least rush 4 guys.
Yeah.
Even if you don't blitz or bring an extra guy that they can't block, you rush 4 defenders.
You got a young quarterback.
It's 14. You have to complete a 14-yard pass. There are no plays in an offensive coordinator's playbook for 4th and 14. It's just let's hope that it works, because usually at that point anyway, it's a desperation play. So for me, the difficult thing about that particular call, was the fact that you gave them time to scan the football field by rushing 3.
So essentially, he was trying to give up. He was trying to give up the big play.
He was trying to give up. I have to think in his mind, he thought that the more guys I drop, the more field I have covered, which is logical, right? Which is a logical. But no, the quarterback should not have time, or a receiver should not have time to get 14 yards down the field. Now, if you rush 4 guys, I'm sitting back, Paul, and if I'm watching the game and you rush 4 guys and neither one of those guys get there or put any type of pressure on Will Greer, you have to live with that. That's just, look, we couldn't get to the quarterback. Florida's offensive line did a tremendous job blocking those 4 guys. But from what I know and from what I've been taught in football, if it's a 3rd and long, I'm talking about 3rd down. If it's a 3rd and long situation, we're going to heat you up. We're going to make you get rid of the ball.
You're trying to win, don't you?
Yes, we're going to make you get rid of the football before your receivers can get 15 yards downfield. And then the fact that you dropped all of those guys back and you still gave up a home run ball, look, man, it was one of the most, it was disheartening for me as a defensive player to watch 3 guys rush on 4th and 14. That's not in any defensive coordinator's plan. I hope they've thrown that part of the plan out. Now, if it's late game and this team has 60 yards to go and they need a touchdown, you play prevent, you come up and tackle, whatever. But we're talking 4th and 14, and this is the go-ahead score. You got to get to the quarterback. You have to make him make a decision faster than he wants to. That's what defense is predicated on when quarterbacks drop back to throw the ball. That's what makes all the great ones great at the position of quarterback, is the fact that they can get rid of the ball fast enough for receivers to be able to turn upfield and get yardage after a catch. Not on 4th and 14. We're not going to sit back and let you have time to scan the field and let receivers have time to uncover and give up a touchdown. Now the touchdown is on the players. They have to come up and make a tackle and get going on the next play. But the call for me was, I was absolutely dejected when I saw only 3 men rushing. I was sitting in the green room with a bunch of the analysts, me, Booger, Greg McElroy, and me and Boog were in a state of disbelief that they only rushed 3 guys on 4th and 14. I'm sorry, Paul.
The decision to go for 1, we debated that. I mean, Butch Jones said it was on his chart.
You go for 2.
He needs a new chart.
You go for 2. You go for 2. That's.
There's nothing to lose, is there?
There's nothing to lose. It's the same situation if you score.
It's 12 or 14.
Yeah. The only difference in the situation is if you convert the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Kicking an extra point doesn't change anything.
No.
You still lose the game with a touchdown. Listen.
Yeah, and let me say to the audience.
I'm a little heated up.
I like this guy. We all like Butch Jones, but when you blow 2 games like that, it's on you. He said it was on him. Well, of course it's on him.
Of course
it's on him.
Of course.
But I do have sympathy for the players, and I really feel for the Tennessee fan base.
They're fighting hard, man. These players are playing hard.
And right now they have nothing to show for this season.
Yeah. It's Tennessee should be 4-0.
Yeah, and Auburn's a different story. We'll get to Auburn in a minute. They don't. I'm not sure where they are. At least Tennessee's still fighting. Arkansas, I thought, was still fighting.
Yeah.
Auburn's melded in, and we're only 12 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
I would advise you to stick around. We haven't gotten too far, but we have plenty to go. Stick around. If you're a Florida Gator fan, you might want to set the DVR. You're going to enjoy the next few minutes. We'll be right back.
The Paul Finebaum Show is presented by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
Schneider is...
Welcome you back to the program presented by Regions Bank. So proud to have Regions a part of our show. A lot of calls out there, and when you win, you have every right to enjoy the moment, and we'll have a few of those today from Gatorland. Let's start with Ron in Ocala, Florida. Hey, Ron.
What's going on, Paul?
How are you?
You a little undressed, aren't you?
Hey, Ron, let me ask you something, man.
Big flag. I see, Paul, you brought your bodyguard in today.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you: Were you the one who made the big deal about the Florida winning the game?
What do you mean? No, I'm the one who's got that you need to put on this jersey.
Oh, okay. You're the guy.
Don't try to act like you forgot, Paul. Where's the jersey at? You're supposed to have it on, and you're supposed to be chomping right now. What's going on?
Hey, Ron, this Marcus, man, from a fan's perspective,
yes,
knowing what you know about the way, I mean, you guys have beat Tennessee now the last 11 years. Was the expectation of the Gators fans, because you were in the stands, I'm assuming, was the expectation that y'all would come back and win the game, or did you guys feel like it was over?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm a part of like this group. I call it, well, they call it Gator Gang. So shout out to them. And every last Gator fan, except for me in that group, was saying we were gonna lose the game. I promise you.
Wow.
Up until 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, I kept saying we're gonna win this game. Watch and see, we're gonna win this game. I done been, for over 2 decades now, watching the Gators pull out some miraculous feats. It was just Muschamp that kind of dimmed our little miracle type stuff that happens in Swamp. So I had seen us do stuff like that before. So I was expecting something big to happen, and it did.
Hey, Ron, let me interrupt you for a second. We had a bet
because you believe.
We had a bet that I would put on a Florida Gator uniform. So
that is what the deal is, Paul.
Now, Mark, do you remember how to do this? Is it
straight up? Don't go in a circle. It's straight up and down.
I had the coat on the other day.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Hold on, Paul. Since I was such a good sport, you know what else I want you to do?
What's that?
Look at him with his Gator jersey on. I want you to mail me the jersey and sign your autograph on it if you can. And I'm
Hey, let me tell you something, Ron. I don't know if I'll ever get this jersey off. It's so tight.
And for something to be tight on you, it's real small.
This has got to be. This has to be like a kid's, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is a kid's. You have a kid body.
Didn't I tell you that we were gonna whoop the cat, some little kitty cats, and I told you we were gonna whoop up on Smokey the puppy? Didn't I tell you that?
I heard you. Listen,
you did.
I did not believe it.
You did.
All right. So Paul, you gonna do that for me though? Are you gonna mail me the jersey?
If we get your, we'll be happy to. You better believe it.
I'm gonna give you my address, and you guys mail me the jersey. Okay, that's gonna be awesome right there, man. You know I'm your biggest fan, and I'm gonna be honest. The Volunteers, that's a tough squad, and I feel bad for them, to be honest with you.
No doubt.
I mean, I don't know what to say about Butch. What do y'all say?
Yeah, it's just mismanagement, man. He's mismanaging games. It's hard to say that one particular decision or one play cost the game, but that ugly monster from Oklahoma crept his head back up again, and it cost him the same thing. So, there's just one.
How Paul comes on the stream, man. It's too funny. Man, you got to wear that jersey for the rest of the game.
No, I didn't say I'm wearing. I may need a heart surgeon to cut it off.
We'll split it up the middle. We'll sew it back, Ron, and send it to you.
I feel fat in this thing.
That, Marcus, man. Make sure it happens for me, big dog.
All right, man. All right, brother.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Ron, stay on hold. We're going to get your address, and we'll send you the jersey, although I'm not sure this jersey would fit on a Chihuahua. Let's grab some more calls. Jesse in Tennessee is up next. Hey, Jesse.
Paul, I need you to talk me off the ledge. I'm so over this. I can't believe it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say about Butch Jones. I've never been this disappointed in my Tennessee Volunteers because of the hop that we had coming in, and then the Oklahoma game, and now this. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, starting with Oklahoma, in the second half of the Oklahoma game, we blitzed 30% less than we did in the first half, and our average time between plays was almost double, Paul. We was way too conservative. And then to the Florida game, on our second-to-last possession, we have a 3rd and 11. We run the football, a quarterback sweep, and then And then the 2-point conversion. Can you explain that to me, Paul? Why is it 13 points?
There is simply no way to explain the 2-point conversion.
I've had it up to here with.
And let me assure you, there's no way to explain it without using curse words and losing total composure, because there's no way. And yeah, I know what Butch Jones said, but it just doesn't fly.
And everybody I've talked to since the game is telling me hindsight's 20/20, but this isn't hindsight. I was screaming at my television when the calls came in. I can't believe it, Paul.
Jesse, man, listen. I know how much you guys invest in being a part of the team and wanting to enjoy wins and suffering in the losses, but I got to be honest with you, man. To lose the way that you guys have lost the 2 games that you have lost this year, that's a tough one to swallow. So
Marcus,
don't jump off the ledge, because it's football. Don't jump off the ledge. There's a lot of football left, but I know it's a difficult time right now, man. I just, as an analyst, I try to stay as neutral as possible, because I know these coaches and players and assistant coaches are under a lot of pressure, but that's what they get paid for, man. And you just cannot have mental lapses when so much is on the line, and that's what happened against Oklahoma and this past weekend. So, yeah, don't jump off the ledge, though, man. We need you to keep calling in.
Let's go to John next. Hey, John, thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, we're doing great.
If y'all would indulge me, I wrote this little ditty that I call Rocky Top Ode to Philip Fulmer. I'd like to sing it for you if you'll let me.
We'll give you. We'll let you go as long as you don't violate any practices that we subscribe to here.
It's G-rated and it's short.
That may not be the issue. Rocky Top is copyrighted, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, here it is. They can't play football on Rocky Top ever since they fired old Phil. They can still recruit, but they can't get a big win. It looks like they never will. Rocky Top, you'll never be #1 in the SEC. Poor old Rocky Top. Y'all should have hired Cutcliffe, Tennessee. You should have hired David Cutcliffe, Tennessee.
David Cutcliffe doing quite well in Durham, North Carolina. Anyway, we're up against a break. I'd love to hear from you at 855-GATOR. Actually, it's 855-252-7285. 242-7285. We'll be right back with much more of the show.
You know you love the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Dwayne, what was this offseason like for you? It was publicly uncomfortable. You scared Heat fans. Did you at any point think you might not come back?
You know what's funny to me? I mean, just the world we live in, but a lot of stuff was said, and I...
Welcome back to the program, and we were getting pretty bogged down in some of the big stories of the day. We have not really addressed the Auburn situation yet. Auburn should be disappointed. Yeah, according to Gus Malzahn. Captain Obvious there, Gus.
I will tell you, this team's going to get better, and they're going to fight, and that's the positive. I mean, I don't feel very good right now, obviously. Like I said, we had some opportunities, and we didn't get it done. I mean, they're a good team, but we had opportunities. Our defense gave the offense the ball in the second half numerous times where we needed to respond and didn't, or couldn't. And but there's a lot of good things that we can build upon.
Here's an Auburn program pretty fortunate to have beaten Jacksonville State. The last 2 weeks, there's nothing good you can say. And if you look at their SEC schedule, they have a road game at Kentucky on Thursday night. But I would say, this is sitting here in July, not in late September, that if you had to rank their SEC games in terms of toughness, I probably would have put Mississippi State number 8. Wouldn't you? I think Kentucky on the road probably. I mean, this is going back to preseason.
Yeah. You see Arkansas, Ole Miss, A&M, Georgia, Bama.
Where do they find a win?
They better get Kentucky and Idaho.
But let's. I mean, Kentucky to me is a program that's learning how to finish things. They didn't pull it off again. They beat South Carolina. They beat Missouri, which looks like the
Listen, neither of those SEC games are for sure win for Auburn.
No.
The way they've been playing up to this point.
Not at all.
Not one of those games.
I would take Arkansas right now at home over Auburn. They're playing better.
Playing better.
So if Auburn doesn't get an SEC win, that will mean that they'll go 0-8 in the SEC. That happened in 2013, Gene Chiswick's final year. He was fired, of course.
Which listen, as bad as Auburn has been playing, I still don't think they go 0-8. It's just conventional wisdom about this league has always told me.
It was 2012. In 2013, Auburn went to the national championship game, and Chiswick's last year was 2012.
Conventional wisdom has always told me that, within this league, the expectation for a team to either lose or win sometimes goes totally array. And that's where we are now with the preseason picks.
Usually, again, Auburn hasn't finished it yet, but they only have what I would call two sure wins left on that schedule.
We look at, I'm going to give you a perfect example of what I was saying, Pete Town. You look at Arkansas after Toledo, they were left for dead, right? Arkansas is done. Arkansas just took A&M to the brink.
Yeah.
And A&M is 14th in the country. So just a little way to gauge how these teams play against each other, regardless of record and where they've been.
By the way, I do know the way to San Jose. San Jose State is a better club than Jacksonville State, according to a lot of football people. So, and Jack State's good for its division.
Auburn just has to figure it out now. They need to begin to play their best football right now. And if their best football isn't good enough, then you say, hey, we just didn't have the guys to get it done. Mm-hmm. But you can't continue to play badly and lose these games, because now it looks like you don't have the talent, and also guys are not bought in and doing their jobs the correct way. So if they begin to be the Auburn that we've seen, they may not have the guys on the team to be the Auburn that we've grown accustomed to, but they're not playing their best football.
The good news for Auburn is that they have, or bad news, I don't know which one it is, but they'll be dark for about 2.5 weeks. We won't really pay any attention to them until that Thursday night game against Kentucky. Let's go back to the calls, 855-242-7285, and Fred is down in Florida. Hey, Fred, good afternoon.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for answering the phone. I was in the stands. It was kind of pathetic watching them. With 5 minutes left to go in the ball game, Florida's defense and offensive linemen were standing around with their hands on their hips. I mean, they had it. Everything was going good. You could sense that Tennessee's in control, and it was totally reversed. I'm not sure what's going on with whoever's calling the plays. I think they need to change. The team from last year at the bowl game, this is just a totally different team. They're not running the plays like it is.
Well, I think sometimes bowl games are aberrations. Tennessee last year had its woes early on, and they got on a little bit of a roll. But when is Tennessee going to get on a roll this year? When you factor in the schedule, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama coming up.
This loss was devastating for Tennessee. I mean, jockeying for position in the East. The way Georgia looks right now, it doesn't look like Georgia is going to have that lapse on the east side of the bracket this year. The way they're playing, they look real good. They have Auburn this week, so they'll find out even more about themselves. Have Alabama this week. They'll find out more about themselves Saturday. But, I thought this game, and we talked about it on Nation, Paul, I thought this game was a legitimate test of where you are right now, Tennessee Volunteers. And they took a step back from what I approached the season with thinking that they were going to be the team in the East to be beat. But, it's just, and you still look at it. You still, as bad as it is for Tennessee, you look at the games and you say this team should have won both of those games. And look, I go through Twitter. I interact with fans on Twitter. Florida Gator fans saying the best team won. No, the best team didn't win the game. All right, the game played out with Tennessee giving away a win like they shouldn't have done against Oklahoma. Those are the games where you come out and say, I'm glad we got out of that one. Because they gave the game away.
game, at least you could see it turning. This game, you win.
Even the fans that are talking to me were ready to exit the stadium.
Yeah.
So, that's just what it is. Now, what I will do is I still think Florida has one of the best defenses in the SEC, and they made plays to win the game. Now, regardless of if those plays were sort of handed to you, that's neither here nor there now because the game is over. It's a W.
Bobby is up next. Hey, Bobby. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing today, buddy?
Okay, Bobby.
I'm going to tell you like you told me last week. I've been sitting up here listening to you and Marcus. You lost the game.
You're right. It's time to move on.
And then you keep talking about Butch Jones. You know what Butch Jones' name is, Paul? Butch Derrick Dooley Margaret Jones. Son of juice. Son of juice. And then, too, like I told you, Paul, you don't listen to me, I told you. If you want to go into business, then you should go into asphalt business because we can sell a lot of asphalt in Lee County and in Knoxville, Tennessee, when that asphalt roll up behind the M&M boys and Butch Jones when they run their ass out of Lee County and Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to let you go, Paul. I've been listening to you and Marcus. Thought for the day. Losers assemble in small groups and complain. You have a good day, buddy.
Thank you very much. Really good to hear from you, Brian. A lot of calls from Florida today. That's a big surprise. Hey, Brian. Good afternoon.
Hey, Paul, Marcus. Glad to talk to you. Hey, big Gator fan here, and just a couple of quick observations. We really, it's one thing to have a rivalry and, jaw with the opposite fan base, etc. But I saw something after the game Saturday that really makes me come to the conclusion that Tennessee has got to get their act together and get a program back, because after the game, dozens, I saw Gator fans finding any Tennessee fan they could and just gave them a hug. And that's not how rivalries are supposed to be. I mean, we just feel sorry for them. How do you not win that game? On the opposite
that's the shocker of all this. And I mean, it's one thing to having lost to Florida if you're a Kentucky fan since 1986, but Tennessee, 11 games now. I mean, that's unheard of. You can't make this up.
Perception is everything. I mean, listen. Big Bug just sent me a note. 29 games. Butch Jones 14-15. Derrick Dooley
same record.
14-15. But the perception and the trajectory of the program is obviously better than when Derrick Dooley took over. But
it is.
At the end of the day,
but at this point in Derrick Dooley's tenure, you weren't. I mean, he lost that devastating game in Baton Rouge. He had a couple of near misses. Butch Jones has built this program on a lot of psychobabble, on a lot of cliches you can buy at Amazon or at a used bookstore from 100 other coaches. He's built it on hype. He's built it on sizzle. But where is the foundation?
Yeah.
And where are the coaching decisions? He brought in a new coordinator who has been woefully unimpressive. Defensively, they've lost a lot of players. I mean, I think you have to point that out. But everyone loses a lot of players.
Everyone loses. Injuries.
I mean, talk to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, look, listen. It's just perception, man. I mean, you look at the greatest tool Butch Jones has right now is the fact that he's been able to out-recruit a lot of people in the country. But
that only lasts so long.
Exactly, and what I think that does,
Malzahn's been able to do that too.
What I think that does for his program, being at the point that they are right now, losing these 2 games, it magnifies that you don't have the excuse that you don't have the guys now.
We have to get to a break, but if you're a 5-star wide receiver or a 5-star defensive back, and it comes down to Tennessee and Florida, which program looks better right now? Like it's ascending.
Florida, absolutely. No question.
Quick break. Back with much more as we continue on a crazy Monday afternoon. We're only 43 minutes into it. I've already worn a Gator jersey, and I have No more hats, no more jerseys. That's twice with Tennessee now. I've had to wear an Oklahoma hat. Never again, Tennessee. Regions Bank is the official sponsor and official bank of the SEC. Glad to have Regions on board on this Monday. We welcome you back. Clay Travis from Fox Sports will be with us in a couple of minutes. I cannot say some of the things that he has said on the internet about Butch Jones. We're a family show here, but he will be with us, and we have one hand on the dump button.
Yeah,
it's not all bad in the SEC, though. There are some really good stories to tell. Nick Chubb ties Herschel's record.
Chubbatron.
Nick Chubb's got to be going, what do I have to do to get some attention?
Chubb, I guess, run for 200.
Second down for the Dogs. Hand off Chubb. He'll try to pick up the first and more. And he does. Breaks free at the 45, 40. Near sideline, 30, 20. Kiss him goodbye. He's gone. Touchdown, Chubb.
There he is, over 100 yards again. 12th straight 100-yard game. That ties a record held by Herschel Walker.
Yeah, he's going, that Leonard Fournette guy, where'd he come from? Derrick Henry's going, I used to be considered good.
Well, when you run for 631 yards in 3 games.
Yeah, Leonard's off and running.
Harris tries to keep the play alive. Flips it back to Fournette. And he's down the sideline. Fournette bounces it outside. Inside the 5 to the pylon. Leonard Fournette into the secondary with another gear. Touchdown.
So how good is he, Marcus?
He's very good. He's very good. See this big cheese on my face? It's not really because he played.
He's like one of your little ones, isn't he?
I'm telling you, man, it's not because he plays for LSU. I love this guy, man. His personality, he's mild-mannered. He gets it. It's not too big for him. If anybody ever has a chance to have a conversation with him, he's the same guy when he's in front of the camera as walking around every day. That's what I enjoy about him the most. Listen, for me, between him and Nick Chubb is if you're a fan or if you're a guy that looks at football, it really comes down to what kind of style you like the best. Because Nick Chubb is an absolute beast now. Nick Chubb he probably will be invited to New York for the Heisman. Leonard will be invited. It just depends on what you like. And I like the fact, the one thing that I think sets Leonard apart for me is the fact of his size and the ability to run away from people. Like usually when you're a 230-pound back and you get some daylight, one of these defensive backs is somebody that's going to come catch you from behind. But I love the fact that his top end speed is world class, and Chubb is the same way. But I just feel I like Leonard better as a running back. If I was a guy comparing them, it's not much that you wouldn't like about either one of them. So.
Randy is up next. Randy, thank you, and good afternoon.
Hey, Paul, how are you all today?
Okay.
With all that's going on at Tennessee and the dissatisfied fans and things like this, at what point does Butch Jones possibly lose his locker room aside from the fans? But do the players stay with them throughout this? Same thing for Gus Malzahn, actually.
Yeah, I think Gus is probably a little closer to that than Butch Jones. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I think Auburn right now has a major problem. You've shifted the quarterback position, which is always a problem, especially when you name a starter.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Johnson was the starter. We thought he was, obviously, we beat that dead horse. But the quarterback transition, not playing well, not winning games that you thought you would win. And he even said it, the expectation of what they thought they would be coming into the season and being at this point.
And Marcus, I thought he said the same thing after that game that he said after the previous two.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's just not very inspirational.
It's an old cliche line for coaches. We're going to get better.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to work hard. That's what you say when you lose games.
I think it will really be interesting to see this week how many fans show up at this game. I mean, this is against San Jose. It's It's a who cares game. And the fans of Auburn are great fans, among the best ever, but they're at a crossroads here in
I just would hate to think that all of the success Auburn has had, it wouldn't be just one. I mean, we're 5 games in.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Auburn, though, it's like watching the stock market. You have 2010, 11 it starts to come undone, and 12 it implodes. 13 under Gus, they nearly won the national championship. The next year, last year, they're in the top 6, and then they finish 8-5. This year, plummet. I mean, at some point it becomes very difficult.
Right.
And I mean, we're writing. Some of us are writing Saban off. He's an underdog Saturday for the first time since 2009. That's consistency. What Auburn is a roller coaster.
You're right. And
we're coming right back. Don't dare leave this dial.
Football's back, and it already feels like the playoffs thanks to 1 Week Fantasy at DraftKings.com. With millions of dollars in prizes being paid out each week, every play in every game could take you closer to a life-changing payday. Hurry to DraftKings.com now. Use promo code FINE and play for free with your first deposit in this Sunday's $1 million fantasy contest. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Enter FINE for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
And now, for Geico's edition of Stuff Found in Your Car, we go inside your side door pocket.
Hello, yes, the crumpled receipt with gum in it. From your anniversary dinner, you sprang for expensive wine, your server was Beth. That dinner was a couple $100. Money you could get back if you switched to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars on your car insurance. I bet you'd save that receipt. Frame it even. But really, where did I go wrong? Was it the corkage fee?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today.
The Pirates and Cardinals have the best 2 records in baseball, and they go head-to-head one final time this regular season. Could this be a preview of next week's division series? Coverage begins Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.